Torin Var had always been a risk-taker. A salvager by trade, he spent his days scouring abandoned spaceships, forgotten cargo stations, and derelict spaceports, looking for anything valuable. His latest trip brought him to the outskirts of the Andari Wastes, a junkyard planet known for storing containers that no one dared touch. The auction was quick and chaotic, full of desperate buyers and rusting relics. When Torin's name flashed on the auction screen as the highest bidder for a rusty, unclaimed container, he barely hesitated. 50,000 credits, he muttered under his breath, a grin spreading across his face. No one else had bid. It was as good as winning a treasure chest without opening it. The transport back to his ship was long and silent, the container bouncing slightly with every gravitational pulse. Torin's mind wandered to the possibilities inside: rare alien tech, lost artifacts, perhaps even a crate of valuable food rations. But nothing in his experience prepared him for what lay within. He pried open the container's massive metal doors. The smell hit him first, a mix of damp metal, strange vegetation, and something alive. His flashlight cut through the dim interior. At first, he saw only tangled wires, crates, and shredded packing material. But then movement caught his eye. A shadow darted across the far corner. Torin froze, hand on his blaster instinctively. "Hello," he called softly, unsure if he even wanted a reply. A pair of eyes glimmered in the darkness, golden and wild. Then came a sharp, almost animalistic hiss. Out from the shadow sprang a small figure, barely human, yet unlike anything Torin had seen before. She had scales glimmering in the dim light, long silver hair that seemed to float as she moved, and a gaze that burned with intelligence and defiance. The alien girl. She crouched low, muscles coiled, ready to spring. Torin realized she was fast, maybe faster than him. Her eyes studied him, cautious yet unafraid. She didn't speak, not in words. Instead, a series of clicks and whistles escaped her throat, sharp and melodic. "I'm not gonna hurt you," Torin said, keeping his hands visible. He took a careful step forward, then another. She mirrored him, staying low, eyes locked on his every movement. Days passed inside his ship, and the alien girl, whom Torin came to call Lyra, proved to be untamable. She avoided all attempts at interaction, darting from shadow to shadow, sometimes disappearing for hours. Yet, she followed him when he moved through corridors, curious despite herself. Torin tried to feed her. She refused synthetic rations, devouring instead raw fruits he had found in the cargo crates and, strangely, small pieces of metal. It was as if she tested the environment, learning, adapting. One evening, as the ship orbited a dying star, Torin watched her play near the engine bay, leaping gracefully from one crate to another. Something about her reminded him of the old Earth legends, the stories of wild, free spirits untouched by civilization. Yet Lyra was not just wild, she was intelligent, sharp, and incredibly perceptive. Then came the first test of trust. A pirate ship had intercepted them near the outer rim, firing plasma bolts that shook the hull. Torin scrambled to defend the ship, blaster in hand, when he realized Lyra had disappeared. Panic rose in his chest. Suddenly, from the shadows, she leapt with astonishing precision, striking a pirate drone that had breached the airlock. Sparks flew, and the drone exploded into a shower of metal fragments. Torin's jaw dropped. Lyra was not only intelligent, she was a fighter. His heart raced, part fear, part awe. After the attack, Torin approached her cautiously, speaking softly. "I think we can help each other," he said. She tilted her head, listening, her golden eyes narrowing. Slowly, ever so slowly, she approached him, circling him like a predator assessing prey. And then, unexpectedly, she touched his arm lightly, a gesture that froze him in place. For the first time, Torin felt a connection, a fragile trust forming between human and alien. It was fragile, but it was there. As the days turned into weeks, Torin realized that keeping Lyra hidden wasn't just a choice, it was a necessity. Galactic authorities would want to study her, exploit her, or worse. Pirates might see her as a valuable weapon. Torin's life of salvage suddenly became a mission to protect someone who had no home, no name, and no allies except him. Their journey led them to the abandoned moon of Veron 9, a place rumored to be untouched for centuries. Torin thought he could give Lyra some semblance of freedom there, a place where she could run without cages, without humans hunting her. She explored the moon with a curiosity that made Torin smile quietly to himself. For hours, she leapt from jagged rocks to silver-tinted sand, laughing, a sound that was half chirp, half melody. But the peace was short-lived. Sensors on the ship picked up an approaching fleet. Galactic authorities. They had traced Lyra's signal from the container auction. Panic surged in Torin's chest. He had no weapons capable of fighting a fleet, no allies, and no plan except one: escape with Lyra. The alien girl, sensing the danger, leapt to the cockpit controls with an instinctive ease that shocked Torin. She pressed, tapped, and moved with precision, guiding the ship away from the moon's orbit. Torin shouted in amazement. "Where? How do you know this?" Lyra's eyes met his, bright with fierce determination. It was not just instinct, it was knowledge. Knowledge from a world beyond his imagination, knowledge that could save them. They dodged patrol ships, narrowly escaping plasma blasts, slipping through asteroid fields with impossible agility. Torin couldn't help but marvel at her courage, her wildness, and her sheer brilliance. He realized then that Lyra was not a passenger, she was a partner, a force of nature that no human could control, only respect. By the time they reached the uncharted nebula known as the Whispering Veil, Torin knew one thing for certain: his life had changed forever. The untamed alien girl had not only survived the human world, she had transformed it, transformed him. There was no turning back. He had purchased a container, yes, but what came out of it was far beyond any treasure he could have imagined. And as the ship drifted into the shifting colors of the nebula, Lyra perched on the control panel, eyes scanning the horizon, ready for whatever the universe would throw at them next. Torin leaned back in his chair, a grin spreading across his face. "Well," he said softly, "I guess we're in this together now." And for the first time, the wild, untamable alien girl responded, not with clicks, not with hisses, but with a sharp, mischievous chirp that sounded almost like a laugh. The adventure was only beginning.